Shannon. Hey, happy Hanukkah. And it is sad what happened yesterday in Bondi Beach, Australia, with fellow Jews targeted by Islamics, the extremists. As I keep saying, I don't really want to do it, but it's no longer anti-Semitism, it's no longer hate crime. It's pure serial killers against the Jews, Christians and Catholics. I'd say if you're a Christian or a Catholic, be careful because you're next. And that's all I'm going to talk about. If you believe in the true God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, of Israel, and also Yeshua, you're going to be targeted and you're going to get killed. Because I always said, because I am I am a Jew that believes in Jesus, and Jesus said he was hated first and will be hated through him, because of him, because they hated him first, and then they go from there. And cheeky little thing, you still love you. And it's pretty late. I think it's about, I don't know, let me have a look at the time. 8:27 at night. I don't normally do it this late, but Hunter's got gastroenteritis, aka sickness and diarrhea. He had it since 3 o'clock Sunday morning. He went to the doctor. The doctor gave him anti-vomit meds because he can't stop being sick. They haven't worked yet, and we're just hoping it will. Izzy's sitting right there. That's my washer. It's on a spin. The reason why I've got washing in the washer at this time of night, because I don't normally wash at this time of night unless someone's sick, is because Hunter, I said, don't use my bathroom because there's a narrow path. It's not wide anymore to fit a wheelchair, because I don't use a wheelchair anymore. This stem cell treatment and physical therapy, I've been walking 8 weeks today. 8 weeks I took my first step, aided, and then I think it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks where I haven't walked with any aid or any help. So I'm happy with that. I do have a drop foot. So if I go to the store, by the time I've finished grocery shopping, my whole skeletal is killing me. The reason I say skeletal is because it's in my neck, right down to the balls of my feet. And it goes in my arms, and it hurts so bad. And the doctor said that is permanent. They don't tell you the small print, and they don't even give you time to read the small print. There is so much things that can go wrong with you after you've had stem cell treatment. I've already got heart disease, which the stem cells shouldn't have gone ahead, because it makes heart disease worse. So I've got to think, now I've got to put up with that worry of, is my heart disease going to get worse? I have this cough, which it says you can get a cough. It's not like a smoker's cough. It's not like what they say. Let's bring it down so you can see Izzy. She's in a Hanukkah. No, she's not. This one's in a Hanukkah. She's in Blessed by God t-shirt. This one's wearing the Happy Hanukkah This is Esther. She's been with me for a week and she's giving you a toothy grin. I forgot what school she is. I think she was done by Ping Lao or something. I don't know. Or Bonnie, I don't know. I don't know, kiddo. But yeah, she's like one of my small toddlers. She fits in. I think she fits more comfortably in 3-6. Yeah. But going back to me, I have the drop foot. That will never really get better. Don't know why I look so wide. I haven't gained weight. I've actually lost it. So I think that's why I'm saggy, because I've lost weight. Yeah, I've got a cough. I am now prone to pneumonia, which I hope I don't get. The skeletal pain is consistent if I do quite a lot. My synagogue or temple, whatever you want to call it, is basically almost about a mile and a half away by walking. I can get there by cab in 5 minutes, if that. If I leave here, because it opens at 6 on a Friday for Shabbat. When I leave here in the car at 5:35, I get to the synagogue about 5:38, 5:40. And that's if the light's green. But if the lights are red, because I've got to go through one set of lights, and I don't go onto the main road, I go on the back way. It could be 5 minutes, maybe 6, but yeah, depending on the light. But when I walk there, I've done it twice, and I make it there, I'm in pain. And then when I walk back, I can't make it back. I have to find a bench, try not to cry and scare the kids, and after about 10-15 minutes, the kids are freezing cold and they want him to go home, and they're in pain because of the cold, so we go home and we get in, and all they want to do is go to bed, don't do anything, you know. So yeah. It takes me 40 minutes to walk from here to the synagogue, and from the synagogue it should take 40 minutes back, because I don't walk that fast anymore. Otherwise it would have been 20-minute walk there and 20-minute walk back. That's 40 minutes. It takes me straight 40 minutes each way. That would have been 20 minutes each way, makes it 40. Before my injury. But then, yeah, it got really messed up. But I'm not going to complain too much, because I am walking, I am fortunate. I just have I don't know what's wrong with this t-shirt. I've got my favourite Peeps Comic Mom t-shirt on, and I've got a little bit of things to show you. So, I don't know why Temu does this. They send the packages bit by bit. She's the second doll this month, but she's a third this month because the doll from last month went by sea, so it was shipped. It went on a ship instead of plane because his paint feels more fleshy like. It is not silicone, but his skin feels really fleshy and like real baby skin compared to hers. She actually feels vinyl. And she is vinyl. Even though I said I wouldn't buy another vinyl, she just caught my, her face just caught me. And then I've got two more. I've still got to show. I've shown you them too, but I've got Shani. I think I've shown her. I need to do a bigger video with her. They're my two Laura sculpts. I sent 5, 6. I'll give 6 of my reborns to old people's facility for the recreation room for the Alzheimer's and things like that. Yes, I've lost weight. Lay down a minute, baby girl. So I've lost weight. This t-shirt is a size too big. So yeah, sit up. Come up here again. And she's in these pants. She doesn't have the suit on because it was too big, but the pants fit her. She's in an Happy Annika, and a t-shirt is that I didn't change it. A onesie says it must be love. Yeah. And you've got Shani's headband on. And yeah. Her hair is rough. I need to wash it. It's never been washed, I guess. It's just, yeah. Izzy's just watching Roku's background. No, I don't have the Roku TV because I told my husband wanted to get it. I said nope. Because there's a camera on that TV and it records everything you do. And I'm not having somebody coming here, looking at my daily life and see what I do and how I do things and get data on me. No, I'll record videos and I'll post it if I want to, but I'm not having a camera in there that I don't know nothing about or shouldn't know nothing about, recording everything I'm doing. I said no. Even though I don't do anything bad, all I do is with my life is clean. But yeah, that's my life is clean and baked bread, baked cakes and stuff like that. I baked bread yesterday and it turned, all the time I've been baking bread, it seems to have got better. Because I pray before I do it and I said, please make it come out right. And God helps me make it come out right. And that's my belief. I believed in God enough that my bread would turn out right instead of like rock. The first time I ever made bread, it came out like basically a rock. It was that hard. I did the dough wrong. It didn't have the yeast in it. Nobody's allergic to yeast. Until I had the endoscopy procedure done on the 20th of November. Is IBS, like me. His brother's got Crohn's, but is IBS, so he's next door to it. It's a brother to Crohn's. Is lactose intolerant, which we didn't know. He's had lots of testing done for allergies. He's had allergy tests done on him. We found out he was allergic to peanut, tree nut, any nuts you can think of, he's allergic to it. And peaches. They said he is allergic to trees. Aren't we all? That's where we get our allergies from. And yeah, they didn't say he was lactose intolerant. Now they told me that Henry, we already knew from birth. That's my washer still going. From birth, he was lactose intolerant and stuff like that. So, Mr. Lactose, all my kids are asleep. Hunter, like I said, he threw up in my. I said, don't use my. He's got, like I said, he's got gastroenteritis. Yes, I've got ADHD, so I'm jumping around. Not medicated, never been medicated. I don't have the aggression that goes with ADHD. I have ADHD and OCD, where I've got everything clean. Or it's got to have a place. If it's not, like my son is driving me up the wall right now, my eldest. The dogs got into his bedroom and peed all over his toy box, which would be Rocky because he cocks his leg. The other one just sits down because she's a girl. And peed all over his Lego, his cars, and his army tanks, his Transformers, his school bus, and a lot more cars. And he brought it in here. I said, okay, bring it in here. I said last night, bring it in here. But it wasn't last night, it was yesterday afternoon. I said, bring it all in here. Put it into my drainer that I don't use because it's way too big. And it just fits in my sink when I drain pasta. And I said, I need to use it because I've got this thing that clips onto my pan. And I empty the pasta water out that way. And I said, use my colander and put your toys in it and we'll go wash it. Well, with Hunter being sick, I've been run ragged. If he's not sleeping, he's throwing up. If he's not throwing up, he's lolling around and trying to sit on me. And tonight I said, don't use my bathroom. Because like I said, it's got 3 baby bouncers in there, which has got child in it. There's my bathroom wheelchair in there that's just pushed into a corner, no longer in use, which I've got to move it tomorrow or day after. And there was a washing basket that I use for a crib because I can't fit a crib in that bedroom. Excuse me. And I said, don't use my bathroom. Well, he went into my bathroom, he came out because he just gagged a little. Reached me, turned around, threw up all over my reborn dolls that was in there, which was my 2 Lauras. Luckily, it didn't splash their face and it didn't go on their clothing. It went on their blanket and their bed. So that's why my washer's going. So I cleaned it up with a few towels and then squirted it down with Lysol. I put the bed in the washer. I put everything, the washing, all the clothing in there. Checked the babies out, made sure there was no vomit on them. Laid them on my bed. And came in here. Watched Mark and Pa's place, or Mark and Pa's silicone. And as I do every day, I just like their content. I like who they are. She's just as transparent as I am. We don't hold back. We say how it is. If you don't like it, oh well, that's on you. You don't like real life then. But yeah, she's like me. It upset her about what happened at Bondi Beach with the Jews and the Muslims, the terror attack. if that good Muslim, which proves there is good out there, but not many, sadly, not many good Muslims, but is one of the good ones. He got the gun and he got injured himself, and he stopped more from being killed, and it was father and son from Pakistan. Some say it's Pakistan, some say it's Afghanistan. I have no idea. All I know is he was Muslim, father and son, and they wanted to kill as many people as they could. They killed 15 and injured many. And the sad part is the news in Australia don't hold back. They show you everything. And they showed somebody getting CPR done on them, trying to revive them. Their rabbi got killed. And he left behind his wife and children, and his wife, as far as I keep hearing, gave birth 3 weeks ago to their new baby. And that's just sad. Now them children have got to grow up without a father. And yeah, it's just ridiculous. Jewish is not our nationality. Jewish Israeli is a nationality. Jewish is not our religion, it's our nationality. People say it's a religion, it's not. That is our nationality. I don't know, because it's from Judea, so that's why you have Jew, G-E-W, but it's not G-U, but it's like, it sounds like Judea, and it is because that's part of Israel, which is now called the West Bank, along with Somalia, not Somalia, Samaria, get it right, never been able to say that word, because Somalia is Africa, or near Africa. I'm just like, I'm drained. My mind's going 50 to 1. It always does. It never slows down. I've been feeling a bit off this evening. So I'm hoping against hope that I don't get the sickness. And I guess because I cleaned it up, I'm going to fall down with it. I hope I don't. I've just got over like having the flu. I mean, I was on my back for 4 days, and it's not like me to be just like, leave me alone. I just need to be in bed. My body needs to lay down. And everyone knows me, my husband's not good. He is very evil to me. I don't really want to say it, but he is a narcissist. And he also almost matches my first husband. Sadly, he's Christian. My first husband was Christian. The reason I got divorced is because my first husband cheated, so he did adultery with my best friend. And then it wasn't just with my best friend, it started off with a barmaid, a older person, because he loved older people even though I'm a year younger than him. This is my first husband. And my best friend, who was an older person, she was 18 years, 19 years older than me. So no, she was older than that. My eating just came on. She was 53 in 2004. She's in her 70s now. And she was my best friend. We met each other when her husband made me Aggies for the first time. And I said, I don't think I'm going to like this for what's in it. And you know what? It tasted good. I said, you're going to have to take it out of the bag, because if it's in the bag, I'm not going to touch it, because it's cooked in the cow stomach or something. And I said, you're going to have to take it out of the bag. That is going to make me throw up. You're going to have to remove it out of the bag and I'll eat it. If you leave it in the bag, I won't eat it. And he made it with tatties and nips, which is mashed potato and turnip. And I like turnip. So, and it's all mashed. It's not like little cubes, it's smashed as much as a mashed potato is. And yeah, we have fun. So I made friends with them, and then I caught them in bed together, which wasn't good, because the barman said, they're upstairs, you can go up and see what they're doing. Now I don't know if he set it up because he knew something was going off, and he was just a person I used to say hello to passing by. It was in a pub, so he was a barman, and I went up and I opened the door. I knocked on the door, didn't hear nothing, and she said, if you don't hear nothing, just walk in, because I'm probably, you know, eating or something. Just walk in so I don't have to get up and, you know, miss my time eating or getting a drink, because once I'm on downstairs at the bar, I don't get a break. So I walked in, and the bedroom door was open, and I caught them. They both screamed out and said, wait, wait. Nope. I ran downstairs and I said, I don't know whether you set that up or not, but thanks anyway. I said, they were doing what you thought they were doing. And he said, yeah, they should have been down here 2 hours ago, and they never came down, and shit hit the fan. So he said he was going to leave that night, because when my husband, the now ex-husband, was around, she never did her work. He was always the barman, and she left her husband at another pub, and she got this one herself. Then her husband took her back. Crazy him. Then he had a stroke, I think I think she poisoned him to try to kill him off. It nearly killed him. And then I think she did actually kill him, because he did die of an heart attack or something. She said he was having signs of an heart attack, and everyone who knew him said she killed her husband so she could go with the younger guy, which is my husband. She killed him. So yeah, she fled to Scotland. I had packed up my stuff because I was heading to Edinburgh before she even went to Scotland. I decided to move to Scotland because they were planning to stay down here and run that pub. So yeah, I was going to move to Scotland, take the girls with me, which they're now 25 and 24, and they don't speak to me because the father, my ex-husband, got custody, and they don't speak to me no more. I send a lot of things to my 24-year-old because she actually said she was looking for me. She knew my address, she knew where it was in America, because I sent her things from here. And somebody reached out at this family, you know, reuniting families again. They reached out, and she says, are you Becky, the daughter or the mother of Stephanie? Well, it started with an S. And I said, that's the first of S. It could be Sarah or anyone. I said, have you got the right person? Because I was sending things to my daughters and I wasn't getting nothing back. I was sending things to my sons, I've got nothing back. I have 4 children with him and I got nothing in return. Henry and Hunter, not his kids. And I said, I pushed her for more information, and she said, were you married to a Mr. Hartley? I said, yes, I was married to Mr. Hartley. She went, I've got your daughter, your youngest daughter, who's searching for you. And I said, oh, I'll just keep my thing. I said, Libby? She went, no, your youngest. I said, Stephanie Marie. And she went, yeah. And I said, she knows where I live. I give her my address all the time. And she went, well, she thought she'd look for you and go through an agency instead. And I said, okay. And she went, it's free to them. And it's free to you as well. Even though you're not in the UK, you are still classed as their mum, so it's free. You did not search for them, so we're going, thank you for the hug, darling. We're going for, she wants to reconnect. Her arms don't really move that well. I've got to strip her down and weigh her. I've got to curl apart Izzy and weigh her a little bit more and make sure that her arms move, because I've got to fight her head, because I like the heads to be like this so they can put their head on my shoulder or they can look out the car window. She's my companion because she's bigger than this one. She's my companion, so she sits in the booster seat in the middle. Henry's all booster seat. I said, don't throw it away, because it'll come in handy, because I had a plan on taking Izzy out on the road with us, and she went to the doctors with us, she went everywhere. Sometimes I sit in the back, sometimes I sit in the front, it depends. So yeah. I don't like sitting in the back because I can get travel sick, but today I sat in the back with Izzy and Hunter. Henry sat in the front because he went to the doctors as well. He's got strep throat. And yeah, I'm crossing my fingers that I don't get sick. Like I said, I've just got over flu and my immune system is non-existent. So I fall down sick with everything. And I fall down with it multiple times. So I'm hoping I don't get sickness. I'm constantly washing my hands. I'm constantly washing everything it's touching. I look like a freak running around my house with a bottle of Lysol, squirting everything is touched. From the light switch to a door handle to the toilet flush to the coffee maker, the microwave, the fridge. I'm constantly wiping it down. And yeah, I squirt his blanket, which is next to me in that corner, with Lysol just as he went to bed. Anyone who vomits and they touch things, I'm always behind them cleaning whatever they've touched. So I'm like a freak with that, because I don't want to get sick. I don't want no one else to fall sick with it. I want to kill the germ or the bug as fast as I can and rid it of the house. Hunters like Stephanie, if she ever got gastroenteritis, she had it for a week. He has it for a week. Henry can have it for 2-3 days, maybe 4 days, and he's fine. I just don't want them to get that sick, because once they get that tummy bug, like I said, it lasts Henry Hunter for a week, maybe 8 days, Henry 3 to 4 days, me 3 days, and Ricky 24 hours. And I'm like, how the heck? He's never gone to a doctor in over 50 years. Never went to a doctor. He's never taken pills. Up until last year, he went for his eye test, and this is how we found out he had diabetes type 2. Henry's diabetic type 1, and it is on his records. I was told by his insurance company that he's type 1 diabetic, but he's not on no medicine. And his blood sugars are always rising. And then when they drop, they drop. Now, I don't know if his blood sugars are dropped because he's fast asleep, he's been asleep since 5 o'clock this afternoon. I'm not sure if he's coming down with anything. He has got strep throat. He's had it for 3 days. It's not cleared, it's not got better. The doctor didn't give me nothing for his strep throat apart from an injection in his butt. Because he can't have penicillin. He's allergic to penicillin. Penicillin, amoxicillin, augmentin, which is, it underlines everything. Once you say augmentin, it underlines everything. Penicillin and amoxicillin, he can't have. So if he gets tonsillitis or strep throat, which is basically tonsillitis to me, or throat infection, which underlines strep throat, he can't take the antibiotics, so he has got to have an injection in his butt, which is awful because it burns. And my niece is allergic to penicillin as well, so she has to get shots, and she's always said it burns as it's going in, and they don't go slow. I said they've got to go slow because they know it's going to burn. They have to go slow. No, absolutely not. She went kind of slow, but she didn't go slow. Count 15 seconds, end it again, and then 15, because that's what they do in the hospital. No, she went like that. And he was saying, it's burning, and she said, it'll be over in a minute. Slow it down a little bit more. And she's a good nurse. I like her at my son's doctor's clinic. She's hilarious. I scared the living daylights out of her when I walked into the clinic, and she saw me standing up and walking, and she said, I thought you were way shorter than what you are. I said, no, I stand at 5'7". She went, yeah, I'm only 5'5". It was good when you were in your wheelchair because you were like a foot smaller than me. And she says, I didn't expect you to be that tall. And I said, yeah, everyone thinks I'm short because I was in a wheelchair. No, I'm 5'7". And she says, I'm sorry, I was yawning. And she says, what shoe size do you wear? And I said, I'm in a 9.5. American shoe size. And she says, your feet look so big. And I said, no, because when I was in a wheelchair, these are way too big, these shoes, because these are a 10. And my white boots that got the bear on, I'm wearing my 30 ones right now, but the ones with the bear, they're 10.5. So they're a size too big. But I used to always buy bigger shoes when I was in the wheelchair, because they said it helps your feet. So I got bigger size. So yeah, these shoes, which will wear out now because I'm walking in them, they're a size big. Now my other shoes that do fit, they're in my bedroom, and I've had them for years. I've had one pair for 8 years. Wait, 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 pairs that have lasted me 8 years. 2 pairs that's lasted me 6 years. And I don't want to wear them. Because the 6th pair, my sister ordered them in my size, one in my size. She used to wear the same size as me. But then when she lost a lot of weight, her shoe size went down half a size. So she went to 8.5 to 9. between, depending on the shoe, it's 8.5 to a 9. And I'm a 9.5. And she got them a bit big. And they look like chucks. They're, what do you call it? Leopard print with studs going around the side of the shoe. And they look like chucks, like I said, with this silver studs going around the side, all over the shoe, at the side. And I like those too. And I don't want to wear them because they were my sister's for her, but she died before she got them. So I took them. And then the other boots that she got, I gave them to a sister, a real sister, because I'm just a sister-in-law, her best friend and everything. And that's how I ended up meeting her on Facebook. I had this angel, and I didn't want to show my face because I was really skinny when she met me. I had the baby bump. I looked like I was 3 months pregnant. I still had that bit of a pouch. So I wasn't skinny, but I was skinny in the face. And I didn't want to, I don't know, I just didn't want to show myself on Facebook. I was kind of like a reserved, very shy person back then, when it first came out. And I had an angel picture. And I think I'd been on Facebook, I think Facebook was like a year old when I joined, or 2 years old when I joined. And in 2010 is when she came across me, and I'd been on Facebook. No, she was a lot earlier than that. It was when Facebook first started, and I just started Facebook. It was 6 months after Facebook started, I joined, sorry. 6 months after me joining, I met Tammy. And I had this female angel on my phone as my profile picture. And she sent me a message, and I already had a friend called Tammy who was Native American. She was Navajo. And she was the second Navajo friend I had. And I don't know how the Native Americans came, but I was always honest, I was Jewish. And they are my friends with me. And he had a girlfriend in Sydney, Australia. And he was engaged to her. I said, so when are you going to get married? And that's how our conversation was, about marriage and everything. And music, instruments and musical things. Because I was a singer, I was a musician. So, yeah, we all did that. But this one, she texted me, did Tammy, and she said, can I tag myself in your profile picture? And I said, yeah, sure. So she tagged herself, and she used it as her profile picture for like overnight. And then we started talking. The moment, because she came back and said, thank you, and I said, welcome. And then the conversation just blew up from there, and we became good friends. And she said, I want to see what England's like. I said, well, I live in England. And she says, I want to know what the Jewish faith is like. And I thought, and I asked her, I said, you want to revert? And it had the question mark, just like that, you want to revert? To revert, you've got to learn all the laws, everything that goes with it before you can actually become a Jew, an Orthodox Jew. And she said, no, I don't want to revert. I just want to know what it's like. I said, watch it on, Google it on YouTube or something. Even though YouTube was still pretty new. It had things on Jewish faith and everything. The rabbis were going on there. I said, just Google it. And she went, no, I want to learn it from a person, face to face. I said, good Lord. I said, how do I teach somebody? I've never had anybody who wants to, I said, fine, come to Britain for a while. So she came to live with me. And she spent 2 years living with me. And she didn't change from Christian to Jewish. She didn't change. She did like it because she says, I feel spoiled. I said, why do you feel spoiled? She went, we do Hanukkah. And then you do Christmas with me because I'm Christian. But we don't have a tree. We never put a tree up in the living room because I didn't want it. I told her there is no Christmas tree coming in my living room. And she went, that's fine. Can we just put lights up? I said, yeah, I can put lights up around my window. Any way you want. As many lights as you want. I love lights. Colourful lights. You can have colourful, you can have white. Just knock yourself out. So she decorated the whole house. And I liked it because I do like seeing lights. Unfortunately, as I moved here, they have a Christmas tree in the house. Which is fine. It's not my house. And I didn't have no reborns, but I was interested in them because of my aunt. Thanks to her, she got me into the reborn world. I just wanted it since 1995 when she got her first silicone reborn. They just come out. And she snatched it up. She got the bargain. Because it just come out and it was only $300 for a silicone. That was 22 inches and she got it. It was in a magazine. And my aunt just completely went straight for it. She has depression, so it helps her. And she is a foster. She's adoptee mom. She's adopted real children. Most of them are from my sister. She adopted 2 of my sister's daughters. 2. Was it 2? Yeah, she adopted 2 of my sister's daughters. And she adopted 2 other boys from people she met in an agency. So she is adoption mum, and she had depression. She never showed her kids depression. She never showed anything. She says, I don't know how as I grew up, she said, I don't know how I kept it all to myself. But fighting depression is a big challenge. And I didn't have no children at that point. I wasn't even married. I wasn't even thinking about getting married. My parents were thinking about getting me married. Of course, I was an ultra-Orthodox Jew. Hasidic Jew. And not many Jews like Hasidic Jews. I don't like them either. I don't like Hasidic Jews. And I left the Hasidic Jew when I was 24. Because they kept saying, you can't divorce him, you can't divorce him. I said, it's adultery. You can divorce him. I don't care. He's cheating on me with every woman he can find. One of these days he's going to cheat on me. They've got something wrong with them and I'm going to get it. I'm going to think about me and my kids. No, I'm going to get divorced. So I got divorced I filed for divorce in November 19. Yes, I still remember the day because it was just before his birthday. November 19, 2004. March 15, 2005, not 25, 2005, the divorce came through. It was going to take a long time because he was dragging his heels signing it. And he said, why did you divorce me using the adultery? And I said, you married me as a Jew. We married as a Jew. I said, I didn't make you revert, but we married each other the Jewish way. And he said, yeah. And I said, I have to tell them what you really did to me. He said, couldn't you say I didn't give you money, I cut you off? I said, no, I'm being honest. I said, it would have been better if you did cut me off for money. This would not go through. We'd still be married, but since you did adultery, I'm gone. And I put up with it for 4 years of him cheating on me. And I finally got out. And it was supposed to take a long time, and I went to my rabbi and I said, Rabbi, I can't wait 3 years. And he said, what did you do? And I told him everything. He said, the night you give birth to your daughter, your first daughter together, your first daughter Heather, and his first daughter, he cheats on you. I said, yeah. He locked my sister in our house and he disappeared overnight. And then he did it again. He locked my sister and her husband in my house and disappeared overnight and didn't come back until 11 o'clock the next morning. Well, the second time he did that, I was in hospital still. He didn't come back until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And my sister thought that he was visiting me. I said, I've not even seen him. I said, I haven't seen him since the day I gave birth to Libby. Nobody's come to visit me, not even you. And she said, this is why I got locked in your house. He didn't come back for the first day until 11. The second time, it was 3 o'clock. The dogs peed and pooped in the house because they couldn't go outside. We couldn't take them for a walk and let them do their business. So they did it in the house. So if your house stinks, it's not my fault. You've just had your floors fitted, so there's still glue wet underneath your flooring, but my dogs have peed on it. And it's not my fault. Blame your husband. So that day, my sister and my brother-in-law hated my husband from that day on. She said, I felt like I was kidnapped, basically. And I said, she's my real sister. And I said, that's just wrong. I do believe you were kidnapped. He locked you up like he was kidnapping you. You had no key. You had nowhere to get out. If there was a fire, yeah, you'd have to open a window and try to squeeze your body out my window. Because it wasn't a push-up window. It was a window that came out like that. And it was only little. And I said, you're going to have to try and squeeze yourself out somehow. And there wasn't a big drop down to the ground because it was like a big window. And I said that's one way you could get out if there was something going wrong with the house, like a fire or something. You'd have to squeeze out of the window. And she said, yeah, but there's no way I'd fit out the window. And getting out the window, the dogs would have run off. So she said, we've been made captive for 2 days. Not in a row, but 2 days. And she said, I'm going home. I don't like how it made me feel. And I said, that is wrong. You should have phoned the police and get him arrested for kidnap. And she went, yeah, but that would put you in trouble with the police and you could lose your daughter. And she said, I'm going to protect you because you did nothing wrong. You're stuck in the hospital because you refused to have a blood transfusion to save your life. And I said, yeah. Because I heard so many stories growing up from the late 1980s when AIDS finally came on the scene. I could get HIV, and that really scared me, and that's why I refused it. And my rabbi said, "Do you want to die or do you want to live?" And I said, "We're all for living." He said, "Well, use your brain and take the transfusion." I didn't. So he told my doctor, he said, "Take it out of her hand. Sign her papers. Her husband's not going to sign it because I don't know where he is. Sign her paper and make her have that transfusion." The doctor took it out of my hands and I had the transfusion. Because one more day I would have been dead. Because of that fear. So I had my transfusion, my first ever transfusion at the age of 20, 19, 10 days before I turned 20. So my daughter's my birthday present, basically. Yes, I'm tired. You can see in this eye goes weird when I'm tired. So yeah. But this baby, these two I'm very close to, as well as Shani. These two I'm very close to because she gives you hugs. That one gives you hugs. Shani's stiff. I've got to loosen her off. Weigh her. I'm only going to weigh the babies that I'm close to, which is my two laryngoscopes. This one, Izzy and Shani. And that's it. Right, babies? Right. It's nearly like, I've been on an hour nearly, it's 56 minutes. So it's about 9:20 at night. I made myself a coffee in my Anaka cups. Try to get the glare, it's got the glare of the TV or glare of that. But it says Happy Anaka at the bottom. And the way we do the candle, we put the candles on right to left. So we will light this one, and then we'll light this one, the first candle, on the first night. The second night of Hanukkah, which is tonight, we lit this one, and we lit this one, and then we lit this one. So we light 3 candles. Let's take that away for a minute. Then tomorrow we'll light this one, this one, this one, and then we'll light this one to make 4 candles. Then we light this one on day 5, this, and this, and this, and then this one. Then we light this one, light this, 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 and then the 6. Then we light that one. Hold on, let me say 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, sorry. That's your 5, that's your 6. So we light this one, 7, and we light all these 4, 5, 6, and 7. You think there's 9 candles. Basically it's a 9 candle, but this is just a starter. We light this one, we light all these 4, then we light these 3, and then we finally light the last one on the 21st of December. And that's Hanukkah. To put them on, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, then we put that one on, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. That'll be 9 because we count that one, 9. To take them off, we go left to right to take them off. Then we go right to left to put them on. And then to take them off, we go left to right. So we'll take this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, then this, then this, then this, then this, all off. And then we leave it alone till next year. So that's how we put it on. So I showed you a little bit. And I made myself a coffee. It's still in there, it's half a cup, and I said I can't drink it. I start feeling sick with it. And that's why I've said, I hope I don't come down with it. When I can't drink coffee, I'm coming down with something, oh, I'm already sick. Now with the flu, I couldn't drink coffee for the first 3 days. The 4th day, I was starting to feel a bit better. enough so I could drink coffee. And I'm a bit bunged up now, so I hope it's another cold than having gastroenteritis. But once it's in your house, that's it. It started with my husband. Don't know how he got it because he doesn't go out nowhere. All he does is sit at the table playing on his phone all day. That's all he does. And then he tells his friends that I'm the lazy, but not in that way. It's always nasty. I'm the lazy fat ass who don't do anything in the house. I cook, I clean, I bake. I used to leave the dishes and the laundry work to him. He had 2 chores. The kids have their chore of tidying their bedroom and keeping it clean. But they don't go in that bedroom because they still don't like it. Henry won't go into his bedroom because he likes to be with me. And Henry and Hunter now sleep with me. Periodically Hunter. While he's sick, I put him with his dad. Because his dad can still move quick. I still can't move absolutely quick as I used to before I broke my back. And the reason I can get why I did get that stem cell treatment is because I wasn't a complete injury. My spinal cord did not sever. It just halfway. So it split halfway and then it was still attached halfway. And for the first 4 years or 5 years of being paraplegic, they were saying I was complete type A, aesthesia injury. Now they're saying I'm an incomplete paraplegic, which means only half of my spinal cord separated. So it was easy for me to have the stem cell. And there you go. I am walking. When I get up now, I'm going to look like I'm an old granny of 90 years old. No offense to anybody who's old. I just look like I'm older than I am by getting up and walking. And it lasts for about 5-10 minutes and then I'm back to walking at my normal beginner pace. So that's the way it is. I think this little one's getting tired and Izzy's still watching TV and she's getting tired. Aren't you, baby girl? Yeah. But all I got, I just remember because I look this way. Because my family are Christian and I'm supposed to be going to my nephew's, who don't really like me, but he invites me every Christmas, just one time a year. But he comes to my children's birthday. But he comes to Henry's, but he doesn't come to Hunter's. Henry's is a step child to Ricky. But Ricky is the only dad he's ever known. But there's a story that I'm going to take to the grave with me. So I got this. And it says Christmas on it. Merry Christmas on it. And that's it. Because they've got a Christmas theme going off. When I did Christmas Eve here, because I'm Jewish, and last year, because it fell on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, did Hanukkah. Well, it fell on Christmas Day and it went straight through. So we celebrated Hanukkah and Christmas. They didn't like it and they voiced their opinion. Yes, they're anti-Israel, anti-Jew. But he's a good kid. He's always been good to me though, regardless of it. And he said, he just came up and he's told everybody he's doing Christmas at his house this year. Maybe he's burnt out from Thanksgiving because he said he went to 9 places. We didn't invite nobody because nobody comes to us because of me. Before I came, they were always here. When I came here, yeah, they stopped coming after they found out I was Jewish. My best friend, because that's her sons. She's got 3 sons. My best friend used to call them and say, coming. It's Easter, which is Passover for us. It's Thanksgiving. It's Christmas. And they had a tradition. My mother-in-law had a tradition of having Christmas Eve here. And I kept the tradition going after she passed, me and Tammy. And then when Tammy passed, I kept the tradition going. I did the full Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve, and we used to always have it before 8 o'clock at night. So I'd say about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock is when you can come for your dinner, stay a while, then leave. Open your presents, of course, and go. And so I kept it going. I kept it going this year. And then I get told, we're doing Christmas Eve at our place. Because last year, the one that's throwing the Christmas Eve tradition at his house, he was the only one who came last year. And he said, where's everybody? I said, just like every year. They're not here. And I ask, I email. I said, the only thing that made you all come here is because your mum had begged you. I don't beg nobody to come. I give you the invitation and I'll leave it at that. If I don't hear nothing from you, I don't add you to the Christmas party. That's it. If I hear from you, I add you, and then sometimes you stand me up. But the food is still there, which is okay because I can live off it for 3 or 4 days. But the fact is, I'm still cooking for a big family. So this year, I invited them to Amy's party. They came to Henry's. I invited them to Hunter's. They all said, yes, we'll come. Nobody showed up apart from Ricky's friend. And that was the person that came. And his friend said, stop inviting people. They don't like your wife. And he said it in front of me like I wasn't there. They don't like your wife. And my husband said, yeah, you're right. And I came out and said, why don't they like me? And nobody could answer. I said, tell me, is it because I'm Jewish? And I said it like that, just like that. Is it because I'm Jewish? I said, have I done anything wrong to you? No. Do I bend over backwards for y'all? Yeah. Don't I give you gifts? Yes. Do I ask for anything back? No. And I said, I'm still going to give you gifts. I'm still going to be that person. Whether you hate me or not, you're still going to get a gift off me. You can throw it in the bin if you like. And he said, no, don't throw it in the bin because what you get is what we need. Or I'm just about to need something like it because I get them hunting knives for him because I get the same for Ricky. And I get another one for, identical thing for the other friend. And I get the same things for my nephews because they're hunters. And for his wife, she's a nurse. So I get both of my niece is a nurse, which is my nephew's wife. And Ricky's friend's wife's also a nurse. So I get them nurse themes, like keychains that says the best nurse, all those kind of things, and cups, the thermos cups that's got nurse on it or pictures of a nurse outfit with a pocket watch like it used to be in the old day. And I give them that, and they all love it. So they always say we don't have to buy thermoses because we get one every year and it's always different. And I said, yeah, you just tell me when to stop buying your thermos and I'll stop. And they said, oh no, we like everything you get. And I said, then I'm happy. And they're grateful for it. But I'm still not liked. And I'm not like buying them to like me. It's just like, okay, I've got a gift. It's coming up to their Christmas. We'll give them a gift. It's coming up to their birthdays. I'll get them something small. Now the children, I'll get them something big, which I've got 2 reborns for my nieces. And they're almost 9 and 4. Is she 4? One's 9 because she was just born before unto us. She's what do you call it? She's a Cinco bit. No, not a Cinco. She's a Cinco de Mayo baby. She was born on the 5th of May. Is my niece, who's just born before Hunter. She turns 9. So I always call her Cinco de Mayo. And she finds it hilarious. Even her mum says that's cute. I said, well, she's born on Cinco de Mayo. You got to take her for a meal at a Mexican restaurant. She says, we do. And I said, it's perfect. And the oldest one, he was in the Navy. Not the Navy, he was in the Marines. My other nephew was a Marine, American Marine, and his wife was those that sit behind the desk in the hospital that takes your information and your insurance policy. So she has who your insurance with, and it's already on computer if you've already been there more than once. So you just send in your date and your name, and you give who you're with, like Medicaid, Medicare, or these private companies. You just tell her that, and that's what she was. She quit. She became a housewife. She wants to stay at home with the son. And she's only got 1 child, so she wants to spend time with him, which I understand, time's too short. Is clingy, like unto his to me. Her son's like that, and she says, what do? I said, I don't know. Because I don't even know how to stop mine from being clingy. It just shows that we're good parents, I guess. That's all I got. So that's a t-shirt. Then this is a newborn. And this is going for my... Look at that. It's got a little cloud, sleepy cloud. And I'm going to use it as jacket instead of a sleeper. It doesn't have feet, so it's got to wear socks. And this is going for my silicone Toby. And then I have a newborn called Caleb. You've seen him. And I've got that for him so he can go out if I get her. And that's it. That's all I got. Oh, and this came with this girl. The thing I don't like about this is the tea is as hard as a bottle. So that's just going to go in the bin. Or stop being lazy and just buy nipples for it. I don't know. So yeah, I've been on here now 1 hour and 14 minutes. Nothing much has happened. I do try and fit everybody's things in. Even though they don't fit mine. The only people in this house that's doing Hanukkah is me and my 2 boys. So I just pray for me and my boys in this house. I don't even pray for Ricky anymore. And I said, don't you realise that you're going to be saved? And he said, no, I don't care. He said, nobody saved my ass but my family. I said, that's wrong. He said, I'm a Baptist. I said, why don't you go to church then? Why don't you pray? Why don't you read? And he said, no, I don't need that. So every time we play something of Jesus, like I said, I am a Jew that believes in Jesus. And no, I will not call myself a Messianic Jew. I'm still Jewish, and we don't need a different name. But I do attend a Reform Jewish temple. And they know that I believe in Jesus, but we just don't talk about it. The rabbi is really nice, and she's helping my son with his Hebrew. I help him as much as I can, and that he'll listen to. He listens to her more than he does me, but I guess that's because she is a rabbi and she's not his mother. So, yeah. Hunter he goes to the Hebrew school on a Sunday. That's the only time they have it, and then it's Zoom lessons in the week. He don't want to do the Zoom, so he just goes to school on Sunday and he misses 3 other days of school. So I try and learn him, and I play the sing along with Sarah. She's a Jewish girl and she does things for Shabbat, Hanukkah, ABCs, which they've got the ABC down to a T. They know how to say thank you, they know how to say welcome, they know how to say no, yes, all the basics. They just don't know how to use it in a conversation. So yeah, I'm getting sleepy. I'm usually in bed by 10, but I don't go to sleep till 1 in the morning. Then I'm up again at 6. And I'm not a morning person, so don't think I go to bed and put my leg up. Sorry if I kicked you. Don't think I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning because, yay, it's morning. No, I wish. No, I get up at 6 o'clock to get the kids ready for school. The kids were sick over the weekend. Henry's got strep throat, Hunter's got gastroenteritis. And I woke up at 6 o'clock because I thought, okay, Hunter's okay to go to school, maybe. Because it's been 24 hours. No. He climbed on my bed, he went back to sleep. He started burning up, and he said he was burning up all the way through the night. I said, why didn't you come and wake me? I could have checked his temperature. It was 102.3, and I said, forget it, I'm calling the doctor who's going to see her. Henry said, Mom, I woke up Sunday morning at 1 o'clock with a sore throat, burning. I said, yeah. He said, Mom, it's not gone. I said, okay. I'll make you an appointment too. He said, I want to go to school though. I said, choose what you want to do. Do you want to go to school and infect everybody? Or do you want to get yourself seen to and you don't infect no one? No one, you just come home and go to your bedroom and recuperate. He said, but I want to do the Christmas party because we don't do Christmas at home. I said, we do Christmas. He said, yes, but we don't really celebrate Christmas, but Dad does. I said, yeah, but you're still taking part of it. He said, yeah, but there's cupcakes. And I said, there's cakes at home. There's cake in the fridge. There's bread. He just argues with me. He says, yeah, but it's not shop bought. I said, why do you want to buy shop bought? He said, because it's got sugar in it. I said, that's your problem. You're diabetic, you can't eat sugar. And he said, I don't care, I want the cupcake with sugar in it. And I'm like, good grief. I'm trying to keep this child alive and he wants to eat candy. His dad bought him candy yesterday, and I said, "Are you trying to kill him?" I snapped and I said, "Are you trying to kill my kid?" He said, "Don't you mean that kid?" I said, "Okay, are you trying to kill him?" And he said, "No, why?" I said, "Sugar? Candy? You bought him Skittles." It says ice freeze Skittles. They're the new ones that's come out. And he went, "Yeah." I said, "Look at the back." And I showed him, I said, "Look at the sugars, trans sugars. 9 grams of sugar." I said, "That's about 8 teaspoons of sugar." Basically a cup of sugar in candy. I was angry because my son will eat it. And he did. He finished the packet this morning. And his blood sugars were 175. And I said, "You're killing yourself. You see how high that is? I have no treatment to bring it down. You're going to have to drink water. Because water does bring your sugars down." I said, "You better go dilute that sugar by drinking 2 bottles of water." He drank 1 bottle of water. It came to 135, which is 10 higher than his normal rate. It's always at 125. And I said, "This is ridiculous." I said, "If you ever buy him candy again, I'm going to flip even worse than I have already." He said, "I'm sorry, I'm used to buying him candy." I said, "That's why I never bought him candy, even before we found out he had diabetes. He could get candy once every month. And I've always made him drink diet soda, always made him drink diet soda." I was so mad. I'm still mad about it. I said, "He's had diabetes now for almost a year. Come the 19th of this month, that's when Henry started with being sick. And it always had a question mark over if he had diabetes. And then they finally came out and said, yeah, he's diabetic type 1, but he's not on insulin yet. I don't want him to be on insulin. If I can, he's already lost weight. He went from 150, because he was a chunky kid, but he's also 5'5". He went from 150, and he's 11 years old. He went from 150 pounds, and now he's at 97 pounds, and he's stuck there. And that's in the space of 6 months, maybe 7 months now, adding this month. He's been stuck at 170 for 3 months. At 97, sorry, for 3 months, not 170. 97 pounds for 3 months. And I've just took everything that I think is a factor away from him. But his dad keeps giving him it, and because he's a kid, of course he's going to eat it. He's an 11-year-old kid. You can't say, oh, well, he knows better. In some things he doesn't. He's just a kid. He's just an 11-year-old kid who sees candy like a normal kid, and it's like a bull in china shop. Yes, he's got to have it. I say, no, he can't have that. And he hates me when I go shopping because he's like holding these bags of candy up, and I say, nope, put that back. I'm sorry, baby, you can't have it. You're going to die if you eat that. Because that's it, he will eat it in one day and he's going to kill himself. So sometimes he does say, I wish I wasn't born with diabetes. I said, you weren't born with diabetes. Maybe you were, it's in your system, and you ate something that triggered it. You know, it woke it up. And yeah, it just went to pot. And I've been trying to keep it going as a good thing. So that's me. Now I'm going to go to bed. And I'm going to go watch some TV. I was watching about 3i Atlas. I don't know why, but I'm into space shit right now. Space stuff. Come on. I must be getting old and boring because I'm into space stuff. What is wrong with me? Oh dear. So I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to lay in bed because I'm going to wake up. The moment my head hits that pillow, I'm going to wake up. I did sleep on this sofa for 2 hours with Hunter laying on me. I didn't know he was laying on me because I went to sleep like this with her in my arms. And I woke up and here's Hunter on this side and she's way over there in his ear. And I'm like, when did you come on me? Ricky came in and woke up. He said, I guess you're going to sleep off effing day. And I said, no, I don't feel good. Then he leaves and that 20 minutes later comes back and says, I guess you're going to effing sleep all day. I said, what do you need? You don't need food because I've already cooked it yesterday. And we've got lots left. What do you really need? He said, I need you to come and move your clothes. Okay, I'll come and move my clothes. He said, every time I turn around, you'd effing sleep. And I'm like, I barely sleep. Sometimes when they go to school, yes, I go back to sleep. Because I've actually seen to a child that's now his blood sugars have dropped. So I've got to get up in the morning, early in the sleep, early in the early hours, get him a drink, get him back to sleep. Then I've got to get up at 6 o'clock. My eldest is tired. I call him the eldest because he is the eldest here in America. He is one of 2 kids that's living with me. And he is tired and I'm tired. Because sometimes it drops and he's got to eat candy. It takes so long to come back up. So I've got to give him a drink. And then he takes a drink and it's climbing up to 97. I said, okay, we're leveling out. Because it drops to 60. And then the alarm bells go off. If he had that thing on his arm, it'd be ringing. And it'll ring up until it reaches 85 or 90 and then it'll stop bleeping. And then it goes to 95 and I'm like, okay, you're level. We've still got to get it up to 125. So I give him an extra candy or I give him a spoonful of sugar. When I checked it, it's 125 or 126 and you don't go any higher than that. We wake up and then it's back to 100. And I'm like, kiddo, what are you doing? Just for like 4 hours or 3 hours or maybe 5 hours. I was just feeding you candy to bring it up. Now you're back to 100. And then other times it's in the 180s, 190s, 200s, 220, 230. The highest he's been is 375. And he was shaking, vomiting, and yeah. He was basically going into a coma. A glucose coma. We took him straight to the doctors. They gave him an IV line, pumped him full of IV. It was dripping pretty quick. And they said if it doesn't come down, we'll give him some insulin to try and bring it down. And I said, don't insulin bring it up, because that's what we give our mum. She has it in her belly once a day. And they went, yes, but you can also bring it down. I said, okay. I guess I'm stupid because my mum's got type 1 diabetes that's got insulin, or type 2 diabetes that's got insulin. And she injects herself in the belly. My sister does the same to her belly. Now she's changed to injecting herself into the leg because it leaves too many bruises, and she's getting sick and tired of just going around this belly circle. So she's injecting herself in each leg, and then she goes back to the belly, then leg, belly. And she says, I look like a pincushion that's been beaten up. And that's how you do look. You get actually bruised from it. And that's what I keep telling my son, you have diabetes that will eventually need insulin. Do you want to have the bruising like your aunt and your Bobby, which means, well, it's booby, but I'll just say Bobby, which means grandma in Yiddish and Jewish. And he went, no, I don't want the bruises. I said, well, please do as I say. I'm trying to keep you alive and I'm trying to keep you safe. So they gave him IV and his blood sugars came down. And we were allowed home. It's now been kept in. And I said, sometimes I wish you would keep him in overnight and you'll see what I have to go through. Because now you've got him perfect. But during the night his blood sugars are going to drop. He's going to wake up not feeling good. And I've got to like fight to get him set, level again. And the doctor said, how often is it happening? I said, basically every night, every day. And she went, have you talked to his diabetic doctor? I said, yeah, but he's so bloody useless. He don't get the job done. He just says, go away and come back 6 months later. So she said, he hasn't given him no treatment. I said, no. He won't even give him the steri strips that you've got to test with a pinprick. He won't do that. He won't put him back on the patches. Well, the device that go on your arm. The G7 device. He won't give him that again. And I said, if you give him that, we know how far he is. Oh, we don't need it. I said, have you seen what it's like? Look at his machine. Yeah, but everything else is good. I said, well, that's not. Yeah, but we're not going by that. We're going by the big blood test he's had. It's not too bad. I'm like, forget it, you're going to kill my kid. And I just walk out. I said, okay, thank you, we're done. So I've told every doctor, tell his diabetic doctor, because that's where his notes are for the diabetes. I said, oh yeah, I don't like him. And the doctor said, why? And I've got to tell them why. And they look at me like, are you serious? He's really doing that? One doctor said, I don't like him either. At the hospital, one doctor came in and said, I don't like him either. He's a crook. And if you can afford private insurance, you can get a better doctor. I said, I can't afford that. I've got to go with the thing that I can afford, and that's Medicaid. It's just ridiculous in America. If he were in Britain, the doctor would have him on medicine. If he was in Israel, the doctor would have him on medicine. If he was in Saudi Arabia, the doctor would have him on medicine. No, everywhere would have him on medicine. But you come to America, they give you a shot for stubbing your toe. They give you a shot for just having an infection in your finger or a splinter in your finger. They give you a shot in your butt. But come to dealing with diabetes, Crohn's disease, they don't care. They really don't care. And the adverts you see on the TV for A1C, which is diabetes, or your Crohn's disease, you've got to have private insurance that most people in America can't afford. So, you're down if you do, you're down if you don't. I have a friend. Yes, I am friends with some Muslims. They're not bad. Not all bad. And they live in Saudi Arabia. And yes, her and her husband, it's weird, but her and her husband are diabetic. She fell down with it first. She was born with it. And then 6 years after getting married, he got sick with diabetes. She is diabetes type 2, and so is he. They both have insulin, so it must be type 2. But the doctor said he needs it as well. He needs insulin, but it's type 1. It's confusing me. But she says, I can go to my doctor and we get medicine for it. We're on medicine for it. And she said, we're waiting for a baby's only about 9 months old, 10 months old. And it's not born with diabetes. And she says, because I have it, my husband has it, that baby's going to have it. I said, that's truth, because all my family have it on my side. My mom's got it, my sisters have got it, my nieces have got it, my daughters have got it, my son's got it. 2 of my sons out of 4 have got it. Hunter's the only one who hasn't. I don't have it. I'm borderline diabetic. So, yeah. Hunter's not even borderline, he's nothing. It's not even on the radar. My aunt's got it. My uncles have got it. So my cousins have got it. My grandma had it. She's no longer with us, sadly. She had it. And that's it. That's as far as we've gone back. She says when she got it, she's the only one in the family that had it. Now everybody's got it. And everyone's on insulin. So, shut up, stomach. I don't know why you're rumbling. I'm not even hungry. I had something to eat. I had beef hot dog. I just hope I'm not coming down with what Hunter's got. It always happens. If I clean up the mess, I fall down with it. If I touch my kids' tissues, if they've got the flu or anything, they have the shot, but sometimes a strand comes in that's not protected, and it gets them, and they get a little bit of flu or walking COVID. I touch the tissue, I wash my hands, I still get it. I'm like, what's going on? So yeah, but yeah, I do Christmas. Don't like Christmas. I really don't believe in it, because we Jews don't. But I do it because my husband's Christian, and I cater for everybody. If somebody married into the family that was Muslim, I'd cater for that Muslim person. But yeah, this family's racial. They used to call people that were black bad names, and then Henry came along and he changed everybody. He stopped them from saying it, and everybody started liking colour. But they just don't like Jews, and no matter how hard I try to change that fact, it don't work. Well, I'm about to move, got to turn the TV off, go to bed. Right, Missy Mo? Right, you're just smiling. Esther's tired. Izzy is tired, but she's still rather watch TV. She's a bad TV fiend, aren't you? Give her Bluey, she's up in the air, all happy. Give her the screensaver of Roku, she's happy. But you change Bluey, she gives you that look like, are you serious? You better turn that back on. But because I'm that strict parent, I say, no, you've had your time. Go do something else. My kids hate me for that. I said, you've just had an hour of TV. You're not having no more, go away. Because I do believe what the scientists are saying. You can give your kids brain damage by letting them watch TV all day, phone all day. And I'm part of it. I give them the phone. Henry has a phone of his own. He's on that phone could be 4 hours a day. Yes, he plays with his toys. He played with his toys all day yesterday. Did not even touch his phone. I said, are you sick? He said, yeah, Mum, my throat's burning. I said, I know, I'm going to make an appointment tomorrow, which went today. And I took him, and they swabbed his throat, and they swabbed onto up his nose, just because COVID, strep, and RSV is going around their schools. They're in one school. I didn't move on into Henry School, which Henry School is pure evil. The teachers are bullies, the kids are bullies. I hate that school. So I made a big mistake. Yes, I'm moving you, so I can move. I made a big mistake in switching Hunter from his school. There's a blanket I was talking about. And here's some drinks from tonight, which I've got to clean up. I've got a sharp nail. So yeah, I'm going to put you back to me and Izzy. There's my knitting. I have a little cart outside of me. And I'm knitting Hunter. If it'll go away. It's just the stocking knit. I'm doing him a tank top. Plain white. I might add something to it. So it's not just white, just to break up some of the colour. And I'll probably just, what do you call it, cross stitch it in there. So I'll probably put a snowman on it, or something you can wear seasonal, because I do like snowmen. I like snowmen, redbird, robin, blue jay. My favourite bird is the hummingbird, and I have not yet seen a hummingbird. I saw one when I first came here in 2013, and that was it. But like I said, my best friend Tammy came to live with me. She's my sister, my mother, my everything. Because she'd put me back in on the right track, like a mother would if I stepped out of line. Even though I was in my 30s, she still put me, I'm in my 40s now, I'm 45. But she'd put me in my place if I stepped out of line. So, yeah, if I was a little bit too hyper, she'd say, Becky, just sit your bloody ass down. You're driving me insane. You're up and down like a yo-yo. Do something. She was a trip. And she lived with me for 2 years. Then her mum fell sick with terminal cancer. All she got told was her mum was sick and she needed to come home. And she knew that she was dying, because when she left, her mum had cancer, but it was like stage 2 cancer, so she didn't worry about it. She stayed with me for 2 years, and then we got that call. Your mum's sick. She wants you to come home. She came home the May, what was it, May? Yeah, May 14. Well, May 13th she came home. She landed here May 13th at 10 o'clock at night, or 6 o'clock at night. And everything. She landed in Dallas at 7:20. and she asked the nephew to pick her up and bring her down here, which was 4 hours drive from Louisiana to Dallas, Texas. Well, Texas Fort Worth. She came here May 13th, July 17th. A month passed. So she was just here for a month off, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then a month Sally died. I never got to meet her, but I did get to speak to her over the phone. She was a really good, strong country girl. She sounded almost like Dolly Parton. Problem is, they're from different parts of America. Dolly Parton's from Tennessee, the mountains of Tennessee, and you can actually hear the Tennessee accent. But even though my mother-in-law did not have the Tennessee accent, she still sounded like Dolly Parton, mixed with Reese Witherspoon accent. So she sounded real country. And at some points I said, Tammy, where's your mum really from? And she says she's from Texas, Houston. I went, are you kidding me? She went, no. She says she was born in Houston, Texas. Then they moved to Natchitoches, near Lake Charles, Louisiana, and they grew up there. And that's where she stayed until she found Henry Senior. Yes, my son is called after my father-in-law. Now, it's funny because it's not called Henry Luther, which was my father-in-law's full name. I'm not giving the last name. It is Martin. Because I'm Becky Martin, so yeah, the last name is Martin. So Henry is not called Luther, it's called Henry Lee. And if you're Jewish, we call him Hanari. Hanr. And Ari. Hanariy. Anari. IY, yeah. Anari. It's Lee, and then it's Lee, Henry Lee, which is Levi, Henry Levi, Levi, if you're American. So, yeah. So I call him Hanari. I'll call him Levi. I'm coming, puppies. I know you need to go pee. And I'm going to see why Henry's sleeping. Or if he's still sleeping. Alright, well, I'm going to go. I've been on nearly 2 hours. So I'm going to say shalom, shalom. Have a great night. Happy Hanukkah. Be safe. Love one another. We're all human. This world's gone to pot. Don't you go to pot. Don't follow the world. The world's gone. It went to pot in 1988. Don't follow it. Please don't follow it. You're so much better than that. Yes, I've got Jesus' cross up there. But yeah, that's me. Not every Jew believes in it, but they're starting to wake up to it, which I'm happy about. There's this Jewish guy, and I follow him on YouTube, and he goes around and he asks every Jew, do you believe in Jesus? And he points out in the Torah, and it's not just Jeremiah, it's the other one, Isaiah. Jesus is mentioned in Isaiah, and that's the Old Testament, and Jeremiah is the Old Testament as well. And he's mentioned in both. This is before Matthew, James, John. even mention the New Testament. Jesus is mentioned in Isaiah more than once and Jeremiah more than once. That is the Old Testament, even in the Bible. So it's the Old Testament, the Torah. Well, it's the Torah because they still go by. We go by the Torah anyway. We do not add the New Testament. And Jeremiah. So yeah. And I'll give you the verses if you want to. Just tell me what, and I'll point it out. Then we've got the Jewish calendar. My son decided to get me another one. I've already got 3. So, I've gone to March. There's a beautiful picture of March. I'll show you. We're on December. That's September though. The trumpet. The shofar. November's beautiful, which is the Sukkot. Yes, I'm showing you. Don't know why. That's your Sukkot. And it's October. It's not November. October. That's the November. And that's the Tanit. And December is that, which is the dreidel. It spins. So we've got one. I have a dreidel. Every year we play it. You spin it on the floor, on a table. And that's the Shin, Nun, Gimel, and Hey. If you land on Hey, you get 5. So you get half of what everyone else has got. You get that, you get 3. You get, if you land on that, you get nothing. It's Nun, nothing. And Shin, you get 4. So that's your highest. And it just spins. It's a fun game. And then whoever's got the most, which we do toothpicks, we've done coffee beans, because Henry can't have candy. We have done candy. And I said to the kids, we've played with candy, it's been on the floor, it's been on the table, throw it in the bin. So we throw the candy away. Henry's not happy, but I'm trying to keep him alive. So this is December. Now your calendar says 2025. Now this is a Jewish candle, the Jewish calendar. Let me see. And it does say dreidel. That's funny. It does say dreidel on the corner. 86. So we're in the new. We're already in like 2026, if you want to say it, in our new year. But our year is 5,786. Year. 5786. But we do have December 2025, but our Jewish calendar is 5786. Then it'll be 5787. And Sukkot, which is September. Shofar, not Sukkot, that's October. Shofar, September, that's our new year. So it'll be 5787. And yours is 2025. I think when Christianity was formed, whoever did the Bible, let me see, because I do have a Bible, it's not mine, but I do have one. It's over here. Something James. Who wrote it? Your words is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. No, I'm not going to read it to you. I think it's something like King James or somebody. Or Thomas, you know if you're Christian. Please let me know. Please let me know, because I am intrigued by this now. Who was it? King? No, it wasn't King James. I don't know. Stuart James. James something. Or Thomas or something. Who wrote the Bible? The one who wrote the Bible changed the calendar. I think it was him. I'm not sure. Let me Google it and I'll tell you in the next video. Alright, well, I've been on 1:55, so I've been on 2 hours. Shalom, shalom. Good night.